Hey everyone, this is David. Sorry I can't really fix my camera that well. Let me pull up my notes really quick. Also, a little bit about this. We had to do a little bit of in-depth thinking, and so I started thinking about how uh, the major I chose and why I chose this major, and and all that came to mind when I was thinking about doing this video. And to be honest, I chose this major because I really had no option. I really wanted to go into education. I really wanted to be a teacher, and I actually did a semester at BYU Idaho for that, but my wife and I had to come back, and they didn't offer that online, and I picked this one. And throughout the course, I've just have fallen, head over heels for the major, I guess, and I really like the concepts that I learned, and I like that I'm able to incorporate that into my teachings with my wife. And now that we have a daughter, I like to incorporate the family studies into that. And I've always wanted to help other people, and I believe that this will help. The knowledge I've acquired will help other people, and I feel like I have helped people. A couple of people have to ask me about their problems, and I've been able to also defend marriage on a few occasions, especially in my previous job. And so it's been really a great experience learning about all of this. I've always loved teaching, and I want to teach what I'm learning someday. Whether it be with one person, or a few people. I would really love to, or a classroom. I would really love to teach that one day. And that's one of the reasons why I also chose the workshop option in this class. Not so much the other one, so that I could teach. But in part of the readings, I really liked them, especially this week. Because it talked a lot about marketing, and I really like that it lines up well with what were our assignments that we have to do. And marketing for me is not really a strong point, but I've always thought it was fun, trying to get other people's attention. What I liked a lot was that in the readings in the beginning part of this week, it talks about a web-based family life education. And I thought that was really interesting because it's a way to help reach more people, of course. But as I was reading, it talked about a few flaws, but I really like how they have a quote, or there was a sentence in there that I really liked. It said, but whether it is this is talking about having a web-based family life education, but whether it is an adequate substitute for face-to-face FLE is still largely unknown and an important area of needed research. So even though the internet, I feel, has been around for a couple years now, there's still not enough research on that. But I think in the next coming years, it's gonna start shifting a little bit more towards that, and we'll be able to reach more people with this, I feel. And especially how it said that the next generation, they're all about having the next gadgets, all tech savvy, and they're all about the internet. And so there's already a lot of negative influences out there, and this is one of the positives that could really benefit many people, and their to improve their quality of marriage and quality of family life. And there's one area, I guess, that I have a little bit of trouble sometimes, because I am a little bit, I guess, of what you say, I like the old ways sometimes, and so I really like that face-to-face contact. People, you're able to read people a little bit better because you're able to see the their tone of voice or their body language, and you're able to understand them a little bit more. That's my personal opinion of what I feel happens with that face-to-face contact. I also like how in the readings it talked a little bit about the model of helping families and how that is able to help them, and how the model talked about how in the 1920s, it started with the family studies. People wanted to help the community, I guess, strengthen the community, and so it kind of, they talked about how a trickle down effect would happen. University trained professionals will do the research, they'll do the science aspect of the of the project, and then they in turn will transmit that to the practitioners, the people doing, I guess, the face to face with everyone else, and then those practitioners would transmit that to I guess their clients or to the masses, and that was one way of helping communities. And one of the strengths with that model is that it's an ability, is the strength is when the ability addresses the problem in a scientific way. It's not just they're just not coming up with something out of a hat. They're actually doing the research, doing the project, doing having educated guesses and coming up with a scientific way of going about this. But the flaw with that is that it prevents the knowledge. In the reading that it said that it prevents the knowledge that the families and the communities have gathered and their experience. And so I think it's very important to realize that communities is very important here. A little bit, I want to read a sentence from the reading that I thought was very interesting. It said, historically, researchers have failed to engage and partner with communities in the research process, neglecting to study the issues of greatest interest to them. Without community-family collaboration in the research process, research that becomes available to pass on to communities can become increasingly irrelevant. So I think if they're able to find or able to find a way to work with, they use this model, find a way to work with the communities and able to help them grow more, not neglect them like it says, then I think it could really benefit the family and benefit the individuals that are having these problems.